Hello everyone, welcome. This is Joni and I'm on my Weathered Wings page and Facebook page and the YouTube channel, okay? So I'm streaming live to both, all right? And I'm here, as always, to encourage you to create something pretty for your home, all right? I know it's early. This is early for me, right? But I've got to take a trip with my daughter. She's doing her test makeup hair for her wedding. So anyway, I thought I would hop on here because I painted, let me show you in here. I used the little toadstool mold, okay? Look at all those little mushrooms, y'all. So cute, right? Oh, let me make sure I can see comments on here because I don't have my computer open. And I know this is early, y'all, so most of you probably is going to catch me on the replay, but tell me hello and where you're watching from anyway. So, I saw something on Pinterest that I just loved, and I wanted to paint this again. So, see, this is just painted white, and I dusted on a little Amy Howard powder. So, it's very subtle, and even though I love it like this, I thought I'd try something else. Now, I wanted to paint it brown. I had no brown paint. DIY's only brown paint is layered chocolate, and I was out. And so I was thinking, what on earth am I going to do? I don't have brown paint, and that's what I want. Guess what? Monet's Garden and Marquee, of course, you can mix. I was like, hello, Joni, you can mix paints. So, Marquee and Monet's Garden makes the best brown, okay? Now, let me see. You can't even see this. Hold on. Here I go again. Let me get myself little. Thank you. Okay, I'm so sorry. I know y'all are saying or thinking, we can't see. Okay. Here, let's start over. I have this pot, okay? And here is the paint that I mixed up. Okay? So, you can start out half and half, okay? I just started with like a dollop of Monet's Garden and a dollop of the Marquee and just start mixing, okay? And then you're going to get this pretty brown right here. And this is the shade that I wanted. So the more red you add, it's going to be a little lighter. The more green, the darker, all right? Now, other colors, if you don't have green and red, so think of it as Christmas. Christmas colors make brown. Orange and blue make brown. Purple and gold or yellow gold make brown. They're all different shades. So just keep that in mind. If you don't have a color, you always can add two together, all right, and blend. All right, so let's get started. Put my glasses on. Everything's a little blurry. Hey, Diane. Hey, Dawn. Thank you for joining me early, y'all. This is early for me, but I kind of like it. You know, my creative juices are a little better in the morning. So anyway, I'm just going to start off painting it with this color that I've mixed up. Now, it's a little thick because, for one, I was almost, out of my Monet's Garden, and you know how it'll get really thick in the, jar? But y'all, it'll come back. This paint reactivates with any, moisture or liquid. Now, look, I'm just going to paint the whole thing, and I'm going to kind of spread this paint out. It's very, very pigmented. So if you water it down, you're not gonna mess up with that vibrant color, and you know it'll just go further. So I've mixed up probably way more than I need. But guess what? I'm gonna put it back in the Monet's Garden little cup container, and I'll have it for next time. All right. So this is generally on Friday. I like to do Friday Fab Finds. But since I've already painted this, or put this mold on here, again, I used the toadstool mold. Y'all couldn't see it to begin with because I didn't have my camera correct. But this is the toadstool, so it's fairly new. Hey, Jessie. Good morning. Beth. Beth is the passenger. Okay. And I'm going to spritz this just a little, to be honest, because this paint is a little thick. So, I totally lost my train of thought. But anyway, so I'm just gonna, oh, I was talking about the paint being highly pigmented, and I'm gonna put it back in the jar and just save it for another project. Because like I said, we don't have a good, or we have layered chocolate, and that's, that's the only brown, and I just didn't have any here. It's at the booth. But look at this. This is a rich brown. I love it. And again, it's Monet's Garden and Marquis just mixed. Hey, Karen. Yes, I know. I'm early. I got to go to Tuscaloosa today for Allie's hair and makeup pre-trial. I don't know, whatever. And I think I'm only going to be... See, Allie, okay, she's my youngest, and she's always the one, so I have two daughters, okay? The oldest, like for dances and all that stuff, she never got in a tizzy about anything. She didn't, have to have her nails done. Now, Allie, the one getting married, oh my gosh, she started like a month ahead, and she's still like that, y'all. So she is a planner when it comes to stuff like that. She's one that would go to the salon, have her hair done. This is why I have so many gray hairs, y'all. She would have her hair done and tell the girl that it was okay, and the whole time I could tell it wasn't okay because I can read her face. And then she'd get in the car and she'd start squalling, and I'm like, why didn't you say anything? You got to tell them. They don't know, So I think that's why I'm going today. She's taking a friend with her. But I think, honestly, she's afraid that she's not going to be able to say if she doesn't like it. And I think I'm there to say, she doesn't like that. I'm the bad guy, right? I guess. I don't know. Y'all look how... Oh, that's so dark. And I know, right? You can't see it. But it's okay. Because we're going to fix it. We're going to do something else. I'm just going to paint the whole thing. And then we're going to use some patina. And I'm trying to think... if I want to kind of wipe that back. I got to think about this. I don't like getting on here and not knowing exactly what you're doing. Let's dry this so I can move it around. Ooh, I love that brown. I'm going to have to tell Debbie she needs to make a brown like this. Hey, Charlotte. Hey, Cheryl. Love that you can dry this paint so quickly and I can move on. So if anybody has a daughter getting married or has had a daughter get married, and you have any tips for me, I need them. Because I have no clue what I'm doing or what I'm forgetting to do. Turn this around. I'll do it like this, just to be sure. Hey, Amy. It's Monet's Garden and Marquis. So green and red. Think of Christmas. Christmas colors make brown. Christmas colors, any LSU fans, it makes brown. Auburn fans, orange and blue make brown. Okay? And I tend to forget it. When I'm looking for a color, I'm like, crap, I don't have a brown. Well, guess what? I need to send out a color wheel. Because you can make greens and, there's primary colors. And I had something decoupaged right there. I don't know if y'all can see, but I'm just painting over it. But I love, this was a porcelain pot. I keep forgetting where I am. See, this was a porcelain little pot. Probably got it at the thrift store. And I love to paint this stuff. So it was originally painted. It was porcelain. I originally painted it in White Swan. Because DIY paint will cover, you know, porcelain type things like this, glass, anything like that. And so I love the look of clay. This is a clay-based paint, and I love that look more than the porcelain. Look at all that paint I mixed up. I just got pretty happy with it. It's just a mixing. I think that's good. All right, let's try that. Oh, it's hot today, y'all. I'm hot. So thick. I've got it really in here thick too. I'll probably come on down with it some. Right now I'll just wait. So yeah, I would just come on down like maybe, because you don't want it to look, you don't want to put a little plant in there and have it, the white showing. So you don't have to come all the way down, but just, and see it's porcelain inside. I never did that part. And so it's going to cover really nicely, but I may have to come back with another coat. It does usually take 2 coats, but this is so thick and dark that is probably okay. That'll probably work. Let's see. Shelby Helper designer on dress. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Let someone else do the work. Well, you know what? I really wanted her to elope. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. And she even said yesterday, I should have eloped. I said, well, yeah, try to tell you. She goes, Mom, I don't need to hear that right now. I'm like, well, you said it. And I'm sure it'll be all good once it gets here and gets gone. But yeah, I want to be able to enjoy it. And my husband, y'all, he is the most emotional type. He's so afraid that he's gonna, he's one of those men, he cries. And he's so afraid that he's just going to be boo-hooing all the way down the aisle. And I'm like, oh my word. I'm like, you're going to have to. He goes, I'm just going to take something. I'm like, yeah, but I want you to remember everything. But yeah, we have a planner. And so she actually starts this week. You know, she kind of just hired her for, the last month and a half or couple months. She's getting married in May, so oh my gosh, we'll see. Hey Kim, okay, we'll be quiet. Hey Patsy. Yeah, I'm a bit loud, so you may want to turn down the volume. And apparently I have a very singing voice because Facebook, keeps saying that I'm playing music. Oh, my nose is just dripping. Gets hot. All right, so there's our pot. Ooh, and this does get hot, y'all. All right, So here's our pot with our mushroom. All right, so now what I want to do, again, this was these two colors. It was Monet's Garden, so just a like Christmas colors, the Christmas green and red. Okay, and now I'm gonna actually like save that and put it in the jar. And now I'm gonna get my waxes. I've got Shipwrecked. I'm gonna use the white because I think I'm gonna dilute my Shipwrecked a little bit, but first I'm gonna go with clear. I'm just gonna use a chip brush. Yes, Cheryl, I know, right? I know, and I'm afraid I don't want to be so nervous and just not be able to take it all in, because I'm nervous too. And then of course you got other people trying to, like my mom, and I don't know, you got to help me find a jar. I'm like, no, I don't have time. I can't do that. I can't even find my own stuff. I don't know. I'm getting a tizzy. All right, so I'm just waxing. See how the wax brings out the color? So it dries a lot lighter. It's hot, so my wax is going to be a little melty. But it seems, what I see that people are not spending a lot of money on anymore are flowers. Uh-oh, I don't need to rub too hard because, this does reactivate, so, but I don't really care if I'm taking some of it off. That's not going to bother me. Shouldn't say they're not spending money on it. They're not using as many flowers. That's what I should say. All right. Don't have it all waxed up. Okay. Now, I want to keep my mushroom pretty much dark, and then the rest of the pot like with this verdigris wax. So, let's see here. All right, so I'm going to take a little popsicle stick, and actually I need two because I'm going to dip. I need a little verdigris wax. Oh, that's a lot. And I'm going to take a little white because I just don't want it this, I don't know. I just don't know yet. Let me mix this a little bit and see. I didn't want it that dark. A little bit lighter. And that's a little too light. That white really goes a long way. So you can mix these, you can mix all your waxes. Mix your white with your black and get a nice gray wax. And you can mix it with the dark wax and get more of a tan wax. So the white is a good mixing color. In fact, you can even wax this whole thing white and then come back with the verdigris wax and not mix it if you prefer to do that. You may get the same kind of a look. So let's see what we get. I'm really not sure. I haven't even thought it all the way through. But I know I love these two colors together, and I saw something on Pinterest like this, and I was like, ooh, I like that. I'm going to try to recreate that. So I'm going to put it on the mushroom, but I'm going to wipe it mostly off the mushroom. That makes sense. But I want it in the little crevices. Any crevice that it has, I want it in there. pretty color though. It's kind of pretty mixed. What did I use to cover the pot? All right, so the pot initially was porcelain. See down in there? It was just a white porcelain pot I found at the thrift store, I'm sure. I always buy a bunch of them. And I painted it originally, I think, in white swan. And then I wanted to repaint it and do this look. And so I mixed up, because I wanted to paint it brown. Again, I mixed up Monet's Garden, which is a green, and Marquis, which is a red, because those two colors make a really pretty brown. And so it was this color that I used. Makes a really dark chocolate color. All right, now I'm just gonna go straight into the verdigris like this. Let's just see. I'm just playing, y'all. Just playing. I feel like it's going to cover better. All right, so let's see with our rag. See, I got some rags here. You need a soft rag. And it is best, y'all, to let your paint dry really good and dry. And I just kind of, I always do stuff fast. But this mushroom, so it has little crevices. Crap, I can't ever stand right in there, those little creases. So it's going to stay in there. I want it mostly brown, but I want the verdigris wax down in some of it. So, like that. Now, there were several ways you could kind of get this same look. You could just use paint. You could use paint in this color and wet distress it and wax. There's lots of looks. I mean, lots of ways to get a particular look. You could have painted the whole thing copper. And now see how some of the paint, the actual brown paint is coming off? I may add that back. That's why I say let it dry. Let it really, dry before you go to rubbing it much. Although I kind of like some of that coming through. Some of the white. And then you can just keep rubbing it off. If you want more off, but I didn't. I wanted it mostly this color. Now, another thing I like to do, let's see, wait a minute. Get this kind of, I'm going to go straight in with the white this time too. Not on the mushroom, but on this part. We'll get there at some point. I love to mix you can mix waxes just like you mix paints. And you can also, don't forget about mixing powders in your waxes. That, you can get different colors with that as well. Get any, oh, thank you, Karen. But two Karens. Would it help if you top coat the brown first before the wax? Oh, top. Well, I like to use wax right on top of the paint because the paint is porous. If you top coat it, the wax is just going to sit on the top. Basically, it's not going to get down in the grooves as well. Now, if you were going to glaze it or something, or if you didn't want to wipe any of the wax, well, no, I still wouldn't have. If you wanted to paint another color of paint and wipe that back, but didn't want the base color to come off, then yes, that would have been a good idea. But I'm loving this. Let's see. I can't get it. Oh, I need to come up some. There we go. All right. Now I'm going to go back with this color again. So I would keep adding. And you can add, I'm going to see if I wanted to show you how you could add powders in there too. So you could just clear wax it like I did and take your mixing powders, your DIY mixing powders, your pigment powders, and you can literally brush that in the wax. And I love to do that just to keep getting different colors. And this is what I was telling you, you could have just white waxed the whole thing and then come back in with the this color. I think I want a little brighter now. I just didn't know how to mix them as well. But I wanted my mushroom brown. I knew that, and I wanted it to mostly this color be the verdigris. And you can always rub some of this back too and show some of the brown if you want that. I'll do that in a few spots. See how this is just kind of just making a variety of colors really. So like on the top, I would like to kind of keep it the brown color too, just the very top. So I would wipe some of that off like that. Can't see with the light. Coming off, yeah. So the very top. Copper would have been pretty too. I've done it with copper a lot. I used to just be obsessed. Oh, there's a brush hair in there. Get it? All right, so here's where I'm saying you can brush a little bit of this off if you want to kind of bring some of that brown in here. So if you want it to look aged, you would take some of it off. Just depends on your preference, whatever you... Yeah, I kind of like it like that too, just a little distressed. Love it. actually get the little tips of those mushrooms if you wanted to. See, they're just wiping off that little bit. But you know what? I kind of like that. Let's just wipe all those little tips off, because you want to see the little things on the mushroom. So let's just do that. Ah, I love it. All right, so I'm just rubbing, just see the little bitty things on the mushrooms, the little warts or whatever they are on the mushrooms. I'm just rubbing those and getting it all the way back to the original paint color of the white. And you can do it down here too if you want to, just a little bit. Why is my nose dripping? Although it's not wanting to come off on that, so I'm not going to force it. But, so once you scrape those off, if you wanted them green, then go back with the green wax. But I think you're either going to have to let it dry like that, because you're just going to keep wiping it off, unless you just take something and go right in between them, like your finger. Just kind of, can do a brush, let's see. There. And you can just do whatever you want, really. But I love it. I love it. Want some more of it. What other color would y'all put in there? Hey, Sherry. Looks like the patina metalled. Yes. Right. That's what I was trying to go for. A little, because you know what I was going to do it on are those little, if you like the Dollar Tree, you know, those little pails at the Dollar Tree, this would be a perfect, or that would be a perfect project for that, because they are metal. Let me show you real quick. I had one. It's just the mushroom. I think this particular mushroom was too big for this. But you know, these little pails at the Dollar Tree would be perfect. Well, actually, I think, yeah, see, I think the mushroom was too tall. I can't remember. But paint this brown, because this is metal. So do it the same way. The paint would cover it. You know, there is layered chocolate, and that is a brown. It's a little bit lighter than what I used. Yeah, I'm really loving that. I'm loving that. And again, this was the brown. And so, my clear wax I'm just going to take my clear wax over here and just going to rub some in there around here like that. It just does better if it's nice and dry, so stuff won't rub off. But you know, I have to have my hurry up britches on and do the videos. So basically mix the two first, the white and the verdigris. I got this lighter shade. And then I went back on top with the pure verdigris, and then I did the white first, and then I went back and added. And you can keep adding. If you take off more than you want, and you look at it and go, well, I don't really like that, it looks splotchy. Add more wax. And that's the thing, you can just keep fixing it. See, you can add more on top of that. just think the more you do, the better it looks. I just love it. All right, there you go. All right. So, any questions? You would use some gold rub and buff. That would be pretty. That would be pretty if you didn't want it to kind of, or copper. Even the copper would be pretty too. And that's what I've done a lot of. But let's see. Made me think of something. Because the well, I probably won't be able to get it open. Oh, there's pale gold. Where's my bronze? This is pretty. This is one I've been using. So if you wanted to dress it up a little bit, of course there is rub and buff, which is easy. Hey, Lourdes. You know, I'm never opposed to gold of any kind. And you can put it on after the wax. You know, because these spots right here, you kind of rub it off. But if you just wanted it kind of aged patina, you know, you could just leave it like it was. But this little mushroom has all those little areas that you could just kind of add a little bit. And you know, so when you're doing it over the wax, it'll wipe off right there if you get it where you don't need it. But I always say wax is last, but if you're doing something like this, it's just fine. Just along the high points, the edges. I've got to find a way to get my stuff will not, when it dries up, it won't open. I'm just like, dang it. The only thing is when I start with gold, I don't know when to stop. Because I love it. It's funny. Seems like every time I say, oh, I'm going to do something, you know, really look aged and distressed. And, you know, gold doesn't necessarily make it look new. It can be like, can still look old. But see, that just puts another element to it, another layer. And this is the bronze metallic, by the way, the new metallic by Paint Couture. DIY has the, they have a gold wax, and they have a gold liquid patina, and they have a copper patina. Pennies from Heaven and Golden Ticket. And the gold wax is really cool. I really like that too. So that would be perfect for this too. It's just a lighter wax. It's not as dark. All right. So who likes it better with gold? It's real subtle. Just on the mushroom and on the top and on the bottom like that. So I love that. Let's see if I can do it more like that. All right. Well, that is it, y'all. So go find you a pail or pot or something to decorate. Is it the true patina of copper? Yes, Nancy, you're right. I think it is. And that's why a lot of times I do use the copper with it. But it's okay. I couldn't open my copper. I couldn't get it open. Meg loves a touch of gold too. All right, great. Donna loves copper. I know, I do too. I love it, love it, love it. All right, y'all. Thank you for joining me early. I've got to go now be a cheerleader for the makeup and the hair. I'm confused why you have to do it early, but I guess you won't